Hello, first graders. We are recording. This is my dad. His name is Larry Hansen. We're recording in honor of your discussion about the olden days and about all the things that were in the past. And so we're recording this for teacher Michelle. She gave us some questions. And so I'm going to ask my dad some questions and he's going to give you answers, and then we're going to place this on YouTube so that you can watch it when you feel like watching it. Okay? All right. Teacher Michelle's first question was, describe what daily life was like when you were a child.
When I was a child, we had no television, none of that stuff at all, and I was born and raised in a little town. My dad was a farmer, a livestock farmer, and when I was young, from quite an early age, I went to school in the wintertime, and in the summertime I worked on the farm, taking care of the lambs and the other animals.
The second question is, where did you live and what did you spend your time doing?
Well, I lived in Ephraim, Utah. It's a little town with probably 4,000 people live there. There's a junior college there, and most of the kids that live there go to all through grade school and high school and attend that junior college for a couple of years, and then go from there to a university for their degree. But we spent most of our time as kids. We had no TV or any of that stuff, and we spent most of our time helping our parents, working on the farm and taking care of the animals, and in the summertime we cut and mowed and hauled hay and put it in stacks to feed the animals during the winter.
And did you go to school?
Yes, I went to school there and to Ephraim Elementary School and the Ephraim High School and junior high school and high school. And I went some to the Snow Junior College, but I then because of the Korean War, I had to go in the service, and I went in the Air Force for 4 years. And then when I finished that training, I came back and went to school to get my degree in electrical engineering.
When you were small, did your family have indoor plumbing and a telephone?
Yes. We weren't that easy.
So you didn't have to use an outhouse. You had a bathroom in the house.
Yes.
And did your family have a telephone in the house?
Yes.
Was it a telephone that had a party line that you had an operator in the town?
Yes.
So the operator would connect you?
Yes.
Okay, interesting. Let's see. What did your parents do for work? And did you help them with their work?
I did all the time. I spent every summer working with my dad on the farm, and in the wintertime, spent a lot of time feeding the livestock after school, and even milking the cows. Even when I played basketball in the wintertime, and I'd have to come home after it was dark and milk the cows and feed the animals.
And didn't you work at this, like shepherding the sheep in the summertime?
Yes,
So you'd take them up to the mountains and.
and herd them and keep them safe from the wild animals. And
Okay. What kind of transportation did your family use to get around?
we had mostly trucks. My dad had 2 or 3 different trucks to be used for various purposes.
What did he use them for?
Well, mostly on the farm and with at work, hauling the animals in the big trucks and hauling the feed in the smaller trucks.
Did your family have a car?
We did not have a car.
Hmm.
And that was a point of contention between my family and me for many years.
Why is that?
I wanted a car so that I could use, and they didn't get one.
Hmm.
They won.
Did you were telling me once that you had a bike that you shared with your brothers.
I had a bicycle, and I had two brothers, one older, one younger, and the 3 of us shared one bicycle.
You were telling me once that you also had 2 sets of clothes.
Absolutely. 2 sets of clothes, one to go to school and one to put on after school to play in and to do work in. But we'd never played or did anything in our school clothes. And that's because we had one really nice set of clothes that we wore to school and church, and my mother didn't want those scuffed up and messed up when I had to use them for a nice event. She didn't want me to have my school clothes all messed up.
Did your family have a lot of money for things, or did you mostly, because it was during the Great Depression, was your family cash strapped, like you didn't have a lot of money?
It was the Depression was really bad for everybody in our little town. Everybody was poor. None of the kids had everything they wanted, and we didn't escape that. My dad had a farm and a livestock farm, and he sold the lambs and the wool and the lambs that went for food to the shop, to the processing center, and so we were not what I would call dirt poor, but we wanted a lot of things that we couldn't have. I'll say that.
Did you feel like you always had food though, because your family had a farm?
Yeah, we always had food because we raised most of what we ate, and we always had all the food we needed. But there were not a lot of other things that we wanted, but that we couldn't have.
Mm-hmm. Where did you go to school, and what learning tools did the teachers use? Did they use blackboards, books? Nowadays, students use computers, and we use projectors and whiteboards. And so, how is your school different?
Well, we didn't have any computers or any other electronic assists for anything. The teachers fundamentally used the blackboards for teaching. They had some teachers' aides, but not very many.
How many kids were in your class?
Usually somewhere between 25 and 35.
Okay. And did you have a library at your school with books?
Yes. Yes, we did. We had nice libraries.
Did you have a
Well,
library in your town?
yes, a very good library, and fundamentally, it was aided in the fact that it served the college there as well.
Oh, okay. So it was, they had a lot of books.
They had a lot of books on any subject.
Who were your friends at school? Who do you remember as being some of your good friends in elementary school?
Oh, the kids in my class we were all friends together, and it was nice. We had a lot of good friendships I had a lot of friendships that I made in elementary and junior high and high school friends that I've stayed friends with for 90 years.
Mm-hmm. All right. And the last question is, what was your favorite toy?
I didn't have very many toys. We didn't. I guess the bicycle was the favorite, but didn't have very many toys.
Did you find that you entertained yourself in other ways when you were little, that you didn't really use toys, so you maybe played games?
Yes.
What were some of the games that you played?
Oh, we played Monopoly a lot as kids. I don't know if these kids know what Monopoly is, but we played that, and Chinese checkers and games like that.
Oh, did you play games like at school that you remember?
Well,
Like on the playground?
Yeah, on the playground, we played ball, softball, and baseball, and in the gym we played basketball and volleyball and many of the things that are still played today.
Mm-hmm. All right. Is there anything else that you want to share about being 93 years old, and any words of wisdom for the 6-year-olds that are hearing this?
Well, I guess the thing that I would suggest to them is that they enjoy very much as possible all of the things that they're learning in school, and find joy in it, because there is a lot of joy in learning, and you'll find that out when you get older, that to learn things is really fun. I marveled at college when I studied engineering, electrical engineering. I used to get up every morning and think of, well, I'm going to learn some new things in my life today. And I did. And I learned a lot of things. And when I went in the service, in the military, I didn't have to take a gun and go out and fight. I worked in electronics. And all of that worked out for me. And I would say enjoy the learning process, and recognize that today's an opportunity to learn something that you don't already know.
Well, that's good advice.
And if you do that, you will end up knowing a lot of things, and it will be very valuable to you in terms of your family life and getting a job and
probably just being a happy person.
Being a happy person.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you very much. This was Larry Hansen. He just turned 93 years old. So he was born on August 19th, 1928, right?
Yes.
1928.
And if they do the arithmetic, they'll find out that you had the wrong number on age.
Oh, really?
It's 92, not 93.
92? I thought you were 93.
No, I'm 92.
Really?
Yes. Subtract 28.
Well, you look terrible then.
Subtract 28 from 20, and what do you get?
Well, I don't know. I'm not very good at subtraction. I just teach fourth grade subtraction. All right. Well, thank you for being interviewed, and thank you for being 92.
You're welcome.
All right.